okay. I'll survive. I'll just pick it up. You put it there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second, please. City Council of Universal City meeting is now called to order. It is Tuesday, September the 2nd, 2025. Call for Quorum Check.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick. Here. Councilmember Goolsby.
Here.
Councilmember Putt. Here. Councilmember Rubal.
Here.
Councilmember Shelby.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll be doing the invocation tonight and then leading the pledge. Please stand. Gracious God, we thank you for the gift of work and for the hands and minds and hearts that built and served our community on this past Labor Day, honoring this past Labor Day. We pause to honor the dignity of all who labor, those who keep our city safe, clean, thriving. Bless the workers, past and present, who have strengthened our community with their dedication. Grant wisdom to the council as we make decisions that affect the lives of those we serve. May our efforts today bring fairness, opportunity, and well-being to all. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Next is citizens to be heard. At this time, the public is invited to address the presiding official and speak on any matter not specifically listed for the public hearing. We have 3 people signed up today. First, we actually have a signed up guest, future runner for the House 118 district, and that's Mr. Desi Martinez. And would like to come up.
Thank you very much, Mayor, for this opportunity. Council, thank you for having me. My name is Desi Martinez, and I am now a candidate for House District 118. That is us. And with 3 minutes, I'm not going to tell you all my policy positions. I'm just going to tell you a quick story. About 8 months ago, I sat down with our current elected official, Mr. John Vaughan. You all know who he is. And he talked about, Desi, do you want to throw your hat into the ring? Do you want to run for office of the 118? And I said, John, no. I said, John, blankety blank blank, no. But he said something as we were leaving that always stuck with me. Because if you know John, you know exactly that this is the type of thing that he'd say. He'd say, Desi, please consider it. Can you imagine the amount of good that we could do together? And I said, I've never heard that from a politician. I've never heard that. I've been around a whole bunch of them. They usually want to seek for themselves, to do their will, their party's will. He was doing it for the people. And he said, think about the good that we can do. And I said, I'm going to go home. I'm going to get yelled at by my wife, and then I'm going to pray. And I remember praying on it, and I wasn't going to get up till I got an answer. And I remember I got up, but I got my answer. And I told my wife, and she said, go back and pray some more. That's not the answer that I wanted to hear. The reason that I take her so much into consideration is because she's my wife of 19 years. She's been with me through all the harebrained ideas that I get with my business. I am a trial attorney. I have a law firm on the south side of San Antonio. I'm a boxing promoter, and we bring national, international, and local fighters together for some events here in San Antonio to showcase us. But she's like, this, are you sure? And I let her know. I said, look, I know we wanted to talk about traveling, and we wanted to talk about visiting our kid that just started Texas A&M and seeing him more, because I miss him. And we talked about my 12-year-old, who's an extremely good football player. I'm going to brag on him. He's on the number 2 ranked team in the state, and I love spending the time with him and coaching. But what is sacrifice? People talk about sacrifice. What is sacrifice? What is service? It is spending that time away from your family, right? So that good could be done for people. And after hearing John say it, then I'm on board. I'm on board. So my name is Desi Martinez. I am going to run for House District 118 with John's full blessing. And part of our agenda, honestly, is to help municipalities like Universal City, because you know the good that he's done by being elected official for the people in Universal City, and so I hope to continue that. So I'd ask for your vote. I'd ask for your family's vote, because we're going to need absolutely every vote to win this thing come November and after. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, sir. John Lujan has been a big supporter of Universal City and has brought a lot of state influence to Universal City over the last two terms for him. Thank you very much, sir. Next up is Heather, is that Shortland?
It is. Yes, sir.
Representing the American Legion.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and community. I'm Heather Shortland, the first Vice Commander for the American Legion Post 667. We are excited to announce that 2025 marks our 50th year of serving this community's veterans and their families. It has been our honor and privilege to serve this community, much like it is my honor and privilege tonight, on behalf of our nearly 1,000 Legion and Auxiliary members, to formally invite all of you to an open house celebration commemorating our 50th anniversary. The event will be held at our post on September 20th from 2 to 5 p.m. There will be a ceremony a short ceremony followed by a social gathering. We would be honored if you would attend. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Heather, and you also stole some of my stuff from mayoral comments. So that's perfectly all right. I don't have to talk about it. And next is Ms. Kim Eichelhart.
That was probably on call it, not spam.
You have another jingle.
All right, I just scribbled this out a few minutes ago, so pardon me if I can't read it. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, my name is Kim Eichelhart. I live at 736 Garden Meadow Drive. I'm here to talk about the garbage service RFP. Tonight is possibly my only opportunity to voice my thoughts on this subject in the presence of the consultant, if they are here tonight. Currently, I pay for twice a week trash service when all I need is twice a month. That is, I'm paying for 4 times more service than I need, as are many residents. Going down my street, 8 out of 12 homes are occupied by a single person. We currently have twice a week trash service and the behemoth pails. This is excessive. My water bill is not the same as someone with a half-acre manicured yard and a swimming pool. My sewer bill is not the same as someone who hosts family and friends throughout the holidays, which coincides with the winter averaging period. So where is the differential rate structure in garbage service? Ideally, we would have options in cart sizes with corresponding prices. I know some of you are strong advocates of twice weekly service. Our neighbors in cities with a comparable standard of living seem to be okay with once weekly service. I think we could adapt. As you work on drafting this RFP, all I'm asking is that you please keep all options on the table. Finally, I would like to thank Ms. Turner for her decision to put this out for bids and the decision to use a professional firm to aid us in this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eichelhart. I think you're going to be surprised with the results of the...
I hope I am, sir. God, I hope.
That is, citizens to be heard is complete, and then we'll go to the agenda. Ms. Martinez, I know that you're busy. You're more than welcome to stay. We promise that it's going to be more interesting than watching paint dry. If you do have to leave, we do understand.
Thank you.
Next up is staff report, city manager report.
Sir, I don't have anything to report this evening, but if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and do my announcements now.
Okay.
By the way, lovely invitation. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's very nice. Universal City on September 6th is having our 65th anniversary of incorporation, so we're just a little bit older than you. So we do have a couple of events coming up that will be of note that is open for everyone. So this Friday at 1:30, you'll see we have some historical photos up. We're going to have a little tour that people can take in here if they would like, if they don't hit that this week. On the 27th of September, is it 27th? 23rd of September, Mike Hoffman, who most of you know, is an author and a historian, is going to be doing the presentation at the library on that evening on the 65-year history of Universal City. And we will take these photos, plus some that are not here this evening, and we will move those down there so they'll have a chance to do that again as well. The other thing that I would like to remind you is that this Saturday we do have our market days, and so I think there are 90 vendors already signed up for that event, so that'll be Saturday down on East Aviation. There will be some street closures. Please follow the detour signs. Plenty of room for parking down there, and so that will be coming up. Also, something on September 27th. That we haven't done in many years. There was a lady who drives through Universal City every day, and she was concerned about the amount of trash that she was seeing on Pat Booker Road. So she asked us to do something about it, and I asked her if she would be willing to be a champion of the program we used to have called Can the Trash. And that's where we invite churches and businesses and residents of Universal City to join Universal City staff. We give you a section of the city, usually a commercial street, and we ask that you go for however long that you can and you pick up as much trash as you can. So she is working with us on that program, so that will be September 27th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We convene at the fire department. We'll provide, we hope that you would bring your gloves. We will have some plastic gloves, and we'll provide with bags, and then you'll get your map where you're picking up your trash. If you haven't told us where you want to pick it up, you pick it up, leave the bag there, and then the next week Public Works comes in and they pick everything up, and voila, we have a nice little clean community to start with all over again. So Councilmember Havlick was the one who originally started that program. He cannot join us on that day. He's going to be in Tennessee with his grandkids, but he said he'll make the next one. The other thing coming up in October, besides the pumpkin patch, which you know, pumpkin patch, is Halloween, and I know that they're not doing the trunk or treat at the pumpkin patch this year, but at Olympia Hills, the parking lot's supposed to be done. Randy's shaking his head yes. And so there will be a golf tournament, a trunk or treat, and then they're going to have Halloween at the Hills. And so that is for children of all ages who like to participate in Halloween, and that'll be on the 30th of October.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And that takes us into a public hearing. At this time, the public is invited to address each item listed in this section. Our first item coming up is going to be the FY 25-26 budget, second hearing, and no one has signed up for citizens to be, for public hearing. However, policy for this is if anybody wants to speak, once the presentation is given, you'll be given the opportunity to speak.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I apologize, this will be the third time you've heard this, but for all the citizens, we'd like to be sure that we go over it at least one more time. So the draft proposal for fiscal year 2026 includes a cost of living adjustment for existing staff. No additional staffing is being requested this year. The cost of insurance, of the health insurances, is expected to increase by approximately 35%. Thank you. Maribel's got it. Thank you. The general fund budget highlights the space needs assessment of $135,000 has been deferred for a future budget. Summit Park and skate park planning, $90,000 was deferred again to a future budget. The oil and lubricants line item was reduced from $55,000 to $30,000 after meeting with the council members. The fire department utility vehicle, which was originally budgeted for $90,000, has been deferred, and then they decided that they can probably do something a little bit smaller. So about $70,000 will be budgeted, again in a future budget. The fire department's Opticom preemptive system, which is $55,000 annually for a 10-year contract, has also been deferred for a future budget. And again, these were removed from the original budget after discussing and meeting with all the council members. The general fund revenue, total revenue is anticipated to be $2,532,029. The tax revenue represents 78% of our general fund budget. Ad valorem is 9.2 approximately. Sales taxes are approximately 3.9 estimated. Franchise fees are 1.3, and then we will be transferring from the venue tax fund $1 million this fiscal year. The general fund departments consist of 15 departments within the general fund. They're all listed here. The general fund expenditures changes by department. We had decreases in 4 of our departments. General services decreased by $196,000 approximately, which was due to signal maintenance and grant matches being removed. Animal shelter was decreased by $93,000, which was related to a vehicle cost that was in this year's budget, and then obviously they're not going to be purchasing a vehicle for next fiscal year. The library was $13,000 decrease, which was due to technology services, and the finance department approximately $10,000, which was due to audit services reduction. The following departments had increases. The non-departmental was $364,000, which is primarily related to health insurance coverage increases. The police department, $319,000, which was related to salaries, contract services, supplies, and maintenance. The fire department, $111,000, which was EMS funding and membership fees. Development services, $77,000, which was related to planning expenses. Park and recreations was $35,000 increase, which was park improvement costs. Vehicle and equipment maintenance had an increase in training of $8,000, which was to train the staff on diagnostic equipment. Human resources increased $20,000, which is related to software for FMLA and EEOC claims software. The utility fund revenues are anticipated to be $12,648,000, with the expenditure listed here. Stormwater, total revenues $941,000, total expenditure $766,000 approximately. So the golf course highlights within the budget this year, where we have a list of a 5-year capital item replacement plan, which is within the budget, so that the citizens can see what our projections are going to be for the next 5 years for the golf course capital purchases. The golf course fund, we've also included a capital outlay department, which shows all purchases that are capital related. And in this year, it's $101,800 that we anticipate to be spent on capital items at the golf course for golf carts. That obviously doesn't include any of the other items that will be improved. The general fund debt service revenues are $1.9 million, interest is approximately $53,000 projected, and the use of fund balance is $320,000. And then here we have our listed expenditures related to our bonds. Thank you. Utility fund water sales is we're projecting $1.4 million for the debt service, and again, the bonds related to that are listed here. Capital improvements for the general fund. We anticipate the improvements to Churchwood, Crosswood Drive, Gamblewood, Inkswood, Logswood, Medicine Rock, Old Converse Road, Persia Drive, Travis Drive, and West Right at the 600 block. Those will be the street reconstruction that are included in the 2023 reconstruction bond. So capital improvements for the utility fund also are there, including sewer line rehab, property acquisition, water tank painting, annual water and sewer line rehab projects. The capital improvements for stormwater fund include Civil Oak Creek property clearing, Oak Meadows drainage project, brush cleaning, and then that will be it. Thank you. Special revenues consist of 14 different funds. We had to add the UC Court Technology Court Security as of May 29th. Legislation says that we now have to have the Consolidated Court Tech and Security Fund as well. Now, venue tax is budgeted revenue of $1.9 million. Again, we're transferring $1 million to the general fund for parks and recreation, a transfer of $101,800 to the golf course for the golf carts, and the remaining $800,000 is going to remain the venue tax for possible future golf course projects after approval from council. That's it.
Okay. With that being said, at 6:51, I'll open up the public hearing. Anyone no one signed up, so I'll give you the opportunity if you have any comments today. This is for the citizens, not council. And 1, 2, at 6:51, we'll close the public hearing. And we'll go to the 2025 tax rate to support the 2025-2026 budget, second hearing.
And so for the 2026 fiscal year, which will be the 2025 tax year, we have our presentation, which I'm going to go through really quickly. Property tax is a key source of revenue for local governments across Texas. The Texas Municipal League reports that the property tax revenue is the greatest contributor to the city's general fund for maintenance and operation expenses. So the county provides us with the tax rates as far as no new revenue, voter approval, and de minimis. The no new revenue tax rate that would have been for fiscal year 2026 is 0.534103. What we're proposing is 0.530000, which we affectionately refer to as the Goolsby rate. Between 2019 and 2024, the tax rate declined by approximately 8.7 cents from 6.6014 to 0.5144. The maintenance and operation portion decreased by 4.9 cents. The interest and sinking portion dropped by roughly 3.7 cents. For the calendar year 2025, fiscal year 2026, the total tax rate is projected to increase slightly by approximately 1.5 cents. Overall, from calendar year 2019 to 2025, the tax rate has net decrease of approximately 7.1 cents. So how does the property tax changes impact the city? For every 1 cent it's increased or decreased, the revenue is $200,000, either an increase or a decrease to the city. How are homeowners impacted by the 1 cent tax rate change? It's approximately 0.83 cents per month or $10 per year for every penny. A home valued at approximately $300,000 would see a change of $249 cents a month, or approximately $30 a year. ARPA funds supporting things I want you to be sure you consider. ARPA funds supporting police and fire, mental health officers will be fully exhausted by the end of calendar year 2025. The city growth will drive increased demand for additional staffing. The consumer price index stands currently at approximately 3%. It's ranging from 2.7, and the projections are going to be above 3%. They're looking at approximately 3.7% is a possible end for this year, which aligns with the fiscal year 2026 budget. The ad valorem tax rate has decreased approximately 7 cents from 2019, which is equal to approximately $1.4 million. For every 1 cent reduction in the property tax rate, it takes approximately 1 year for the city to recover for the loss in the revenues and to regain the tax rate. That's all I have.
With that being said, call the 6:55 for a public hearing. Anyone like to address the council or questions? And at 6:55 we'll close and we'll move to the third item. Zoning request for C2 retail to C3 commercial services district at 8096 Agora Parkway.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
As written in the staff memo, the property in question is 8096 Agora Parkway. This is the old Hearthstone building that is kind of the outlier in the Forum Shopping Center, the one property that is located within Universal City. So as we put in the staff memo, you may recall that back in 2019, the petitioner or the forum did come to City Council requesting a conditional use permit for a physical therapy business, which was denied. And the reasoning at that time that council gave was that this property is zone C2 retail. That use would not generate any revenue, retail sales tax. And so they wanted to give the forum the opportunity to try and get a pure retail use at that location. It's been 6 to 7 years, and that has not occurred. As part of our discussion with the petitioner leading up to this point, we did let them know that they probably would need to justify that they have exhausted all resources to try and get a retail user. And attached to the packet is a spreadsheet that they have provided. If you look at the items that are highlighted in yellow, it identifies all the outreach potential tenants that were retail that ultimately did not come to fruition. And so with that said, they requested or are requesting a zone change to C3 commercial services. And if you look at, I don't know if we can pull up one of the exhibits. There's a zoning district comparison. That's also in your packet. And what the C3, or the proposed C3 commercial services district would do, it would bring it in line with the other two jurisdictions that occupy the forum, meaning Selma and Live Oak. And so in Selma, their zoning classification for that location is C1. And that does allow both retail services as well as commercial services. And then the Live Oak portion is zone B3. And that also allows retail as well as commercial services. So commercial services include dental, medical offices, things that don't necessarily have a retail component, but do bring foot traffic to that location, and they will then spend money at other locations, probably for lunch or dinner. So by rezoning this property to C3 commercial services, it does complement those other uses. And the petitioner is here with a host of groups. We have their attorney is here, as well as ownership and management. They would like to give us a brief presentation.
Hi, good evening, Council. My name is Ashley Fairmont. I work with a law firm in San Antonio called Killen Griffin in Fairmont. Nice to see you all. And as Michael mentioned, yes, we have a whole group of people here today, so hopefully we can answer any questions if you have them. Representation of ownership, brokerage, and management for the forum. It has been a long time since this has been before you, and unfortunately this building has been sitting vacant, a portion of it since 2017 and then a portion of it since 2019. As Michael mentioned, and I do want to thank Michael and Kim also for working with us on this request as always, and I know that they've had a relationship with representation at the forum and have been working with them for years, so I do appreciate that. So here's the building. It's about 6,200 square feet. It fronts, or the back of it fronts the 1604 frontage road. And then also you can see here, it's, kind of see on the slide, the detention pond. So it's a challenging building to lease for a variety of reasons. There's the access to the site. There's not direct access from Agora Parkway. The driveway is a little bit situated a little bit differently. The building has a back to the frontage road, and then obviously also that detention pond. Also, the majority of traffic, while coming from Universal City, you might go on the 1604 frontage road. Majority of traffic in and out of the forum does come from more of the central location within Selma and Live Oak. So our request today is to rezone from the C2 to C3. As Michael mentioned, there was a request back in 2019 for the physical therapy, and the direction was to go out and see if you can lease it to other different types of businesses that would generate sales tax. What has happened is there has been a lot of interest from medical office users, but they're not permitted. So what we're asking for the C3 for is to allow for medical office, and then it also does allow for the personal services, so like a fitness studio. And that would put this building on equal footage with Selma and Live Oak.
And I think then brokerage can speak to this as well, but the goal would be to continue to market it for retail if that's possible, but also have the ability to have a medical office in this space. So I know you're all familiar with the building, but we did include some pictures of that. There's the detention pond and then the back of the building. There we go. And there's the front of the building. And so Hearthstone was here for from about 2005, 2006 to 2019. And then Portrait Innovations, a photo studio, was there until 2017. And so those have been the only two tenants that have ever occupied this space. They split the building. And so they're the original tenants, and then no one has moved into this space since then. And so these are all of the leasing efforts and the interest there's been in the building since 2019. And what's highlighted in yellow are medical office, fitness, and professional office that's been interested in this site. So everything that's not highlighted, though, are mostly restaurants, some retail, but mostly restaurant use. And then the problem is when the restaurant user comes to look at the space, visits the space, it's not ideal. If they want to be in the forum, they want to be in the middle of the forum where there's more synergy, where there's more traffic, and that's just more appealing for the restaurant users. Just continue leasing efforts. I think we updated it a little bit since Planning and Zoning Commission, so there's been a little bit more interest. But what we're asking for today is just the allowance to have really that medical use in the C3 zoning. And again, I know Michael touched on it, but it would be similar to what Selma has the forum zone and what Live Oak has the forum zone. With that, Mayor, happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Thank you very much. Right now, we'll be doing the public hearing, and then later on, the council will have a chance to address.
Thank you.
It is 7:02. I'll open up the public hearing. Any citizens like to address this proposal? And on the count of 5, we'll go at 7:02. Public hearing is now closed, and we'll move on to council, mayor announcements, and mayoral comments, and council members. Since city clerk, excuse me, since Ms. Heather and a few other folks have really took all my agendas today, I'm going to just pass along to Mayor Pro Tem and start us off. And we'll just go around clockwise.
I was just going to say, I was going to just let out the little feeler that we're getting ready for the pumpkin patch. Look for opportunities to sign up to come out and volunteer. We'll be setting up in this month, and so we'll be out there a little bit, but then the pumpkins will get dropped off and unloaded the first week in October. We'll open up on that Friday, I think it's the 4th. So just look for information to help out. That's all.
Nothing for me tonight, Mayor. Nothing for me, Mayor.
Oh, I always have something to say. Happy 65th. I want you all to know, the city was 9 years old when I moved here. I was just a baby, just born. Whatever. Anyway, I love the direction the city has come over all these years. I've seen it be kind of like Mayberry RFD to where we are today, but the community is still very much Mayberry RFD and family friendly and supportive of everything that goes on. I'm just real proud of our city. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Rubal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Consistent with the history posters on the back, there was a pre-gateway newsletter the City of Universal put out in the past. It was called the City News and then it was called City Newsline. And I'm going to read you one thing from that publication in the past. It has to do with fiscal year 1986. I'm going to have you reflect the budget for this year and the tax rates for this year. The city should receive approximately $960,000 in property revenue. No other city in the greater Randolph area can boast a tax rate so low. And it posted rates for Civil Oak, Converse, Kirby, Live Oak, Shirts, and Selma. And indeed, it was the lowest in the area and an astounding ad valorem rate of 0.24085%. So that's just FY where we were ranking wise, at least in the past. The other thing I'd like to do is a shout out to the police department for providing the review of the crime trends over the past 5 years up until 2024. And also their addition to the crime report in our tab that we see monthly in tab L that may not be generally discussed. On the Councilmembers website, one will find a comparison of the statistics from our police chief and staff compared to the national average and also the state average. Basically, in the San Antonio area, the crime rate is higher than the U.S. in general, than Texas in general, because it encompasses a large area. It's not higher than surrounding areas. But that said, it's the reason for the prior report with regard to the websites that realtors use and so forth in order to generate statistics for all cities. And I encourage you to look at the council message board for detailed information about that. Essentially, the reporting agencies were correct. They use the national standard as their base for comparison. So again, a shout out to the chief and the staff for their report and also improving the information that the council gets at the end of the month. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rubal. Mr. Goolsby?
Thank you, sir. So I appreciated the council message board. Mr. Rubal had posted up some stuff about that, about the 1986 budget. So I was like, that's crazy. How did we go from here to there? And so I went to this really cool satellite imagery that took me back to 1986, and it like 3009 didn't even exist. The forum didn't even exist. All these places that we were above, we had a much lower tax rate then. They didn't have that income generator of their main thoroughfares, but we had Pat Hooker. Right? Pat Hooker was there. I was like, get it. And so I thought that was really cool. But then to watch those places that aren't landlocked, how they were able to continue to grow and expand their sales tax base, I thought that was interesting to see how they kind of, those tax rates kind of started doing that, because when we don't have that income generator of miles and miles of retail strip and things like that. So it was really fascinating to see. I appreciate you showing that out. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Now, with that being said, we'll go into the consent agenda. All matters listed under this item is considered by the City Council as routine and will be enacted in one motion. Also a motion?
Can we pull item C for a separate vote, please, Mayor?
I'm sorry?
Can we pull item C for a separate vote?
We'll pull item C up for a separate vote and then go for A and B.
Move for approval on A and B.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal?
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Approved. Okay. Item C, Resolution 966-2025-3, EDC Storefront Improvement Program for Synergy Refrigeration, 848 Westburg Boulevard. Mr. Vaughan, you have the floor.
Just a vote, Mayor.
Still a vote? Okay. Call for the vote.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion? Yes.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just a little more information about Synergy. Synergy, this is their second office. The first office is in Georgia, and essentially they have a total employee number of somewhere in the 40s, perhaps it's down. It's important to consider that Synergy is actually two heads in one company. There's a Synergy VP, and also a Synergy Refrigeration Group. The reason why they chose the San Antonio area was essentially that, and Universal City, was because essentially it was mid-country, because they have fingers out to industries throughout the country. Their next thought is to put another office on the West Coast. Now that said, the GP part of Synergy actually stands for gas production, and whenever you look at their website, essentially what they do is they liquefy methane and carbon dioxide. So they work with Republic Waste Management to liquefy their gases, to get rid of greenhouse gases. And I just wanted to say that they extend beyond the refrigeration group and will hopefully be expanding in the Universal City area soon.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Then call for the vote.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal?
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan?
No.
Motion carried.
Okay, what that? And the next is action items. First up, A, Resolution 909G, 2025 FY26 budget adoption, a resolution of the City Council of Universal City adopting the fiscal budget, 2025-26 budget, providing for authorization to execute the budget, and providing an effective date. Call for a motion.
Move for approval?
Second thought.
And now,
I was just going to address the next three things, so give me a moment. So you're going to do three things with the budget and the tax rate amount. You're going to adopt the budget. That's the first one. The second one is you're going to ratify property tax increase. Part of that is to new properties added. Part of that is for the appraised value, and then the tax increase. And then the second, those are both resolutions, only require one reading. Your third item, which is item C, is the adoption of the tax rate. That is an ordinance. It does require two reading. Whoever makes the motion on that, if you would be so kind as to read the M&O and the INS and the total rate for the record, that would be greatly appreciated.
okay, back to A though. The motion's on the table and open for discussion. Mr. Vaughan.
I just wanted to commend Christine on the budget. We've seen tremendous improvement over the first budget that I participated in. There's a lot of good things in this budget that I really support. However, it does raise more taxes than I think is necessary. And my understanding is the way I read our charter is that if I approve the budget, that means I have to approve tax rates. So we'll be voting no on the budget for that reason. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Any other comments? I would like to reiterate that the budget cycle that we've adopted this past year, starting last year, is really a vast improvement over what it was back in 2010 moving forward. I guarantee you, it is, we appreciate the hard work that went into this, and it really is very understandable. But thank you for that. Mr. Bob.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was extraordinarily excited at our first draft of the budget, seeing that there was an effort to move it into a 5-year cycle. I still think that is a number that we should be chasing, and that's my only comment on this.
Thank you. Any other discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal?
Nay.
Councilmember Vaughan?
No.
Motion carried.
Item B, Resolution 909F, 2025, resolution by City Council of the City of Universal City, ratifying the property tax increase reflected in the adopted budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. Call for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
I'm just watching the tennis match.
No discussion, call for the vote.
Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt.
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal.
Nay.
Councilmember Vaughan.
No.
Motion carried.
Approved. Item C, ordinance 656F 2025, an ordinance setting the ad valorem tax rate for 2025 at 0.53000 per 100 appraised value and appointing a tax assessor collection, first reading. Call for a vote, call for a motion.
Move to approve the following ad valorem tax rate adopted per $100 of valuation. 0.442000 for maintenance and operations, 0.088000 for debt service, for a total of 0.530000 for the total tax rate.
Second. I'm not going to ask for a motion to make that officially the Goolsby rate, but
Well, that's true.
that's kind of the effect. That's
so many zeros.
Discussion. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Shelby.
Aye.
Councilmember Putt.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick.
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal.
Nay.
Councilmember Vaughan.
No.
Motion carried.
Carries. Thank you. Item D, contract with solid waste specialist for procurement services for the collection of solid waste services.
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, one of the things people love to do is talk trash. Talk about their trash. It's a very emotional situation. It's a very emotional situation, and you know, it's part of our daily or some for us just our weekly lives and how we get rid of stuff, whether it's household waste or limbs or anything of that nature. So our contract with Waste Management is up in July, and so it is time, if council wants to move forward with the RFP process, time to do that now, so that we are looking at a significant amount of lead times, and whoever is awarded that contract has sufficient amount of time to make sure they're ready to service them when the time comes. And so that would be a contract that will start August 1st. So we have on the screen with us Mr. I call him Lane, you can call him Trout. He is with a service that all they do as a consultant is they do RFPs and negotiations for trash service contracts. Trash being not only residential for household, as we like to call it, but also commercial and industrial, which for us includes construction. So Michael and I reached out with him. We had a very good meeting with him to understand how the process works. It's advantageous for the city to follow their process, and the years of experience and understanding that he has and how it works not only in Universal City, but in other cities as well. As you see, there is a cost associated with having the RFP firm, Solid Waste Services, but the vendor who is awarded that contract then reimburses the city for that. So while there is an upfront cost to the city, the reimbursement does come almost 100%. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Lynn, and he's just going to kind of give you a rundown of the process, what they've done in other cities, and kind of what he's recommending for Universal City moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. Director and Honorable Mayor and Council. I'm Lynn Blanchard. I'm one of the team of two for solid waste specialists. My partner, long-term mayor in DeSoto, Texas, is currently the tax assessor collector in Ellis County. So we have a real great understanding of the elected official side of things, as well as a real great understanding of the staff side of things. We recently did Civil and Sheriff very successfully. Our goal is to get a unanimous vote from the council for our recommendation. We use what I call grassroots judging after we prepare an RFP and contract by listening.
Man down.
So the question is that there is feedback?
It's a HDMI phone.
Okay.
You're back, thank you.
All right, so we will be with the staff and members together to give us instructions on how to RFP will look and how the contract will look that goes with that RFP. We send them all at the same time, and they really people. And we structure this in a way the city university wants to see the service, then the recommendation of you, I will come in and make that presentation, and hopefully we'll have a unanimous vote. That's our goal, to get that accomplished. So it was very successful in Civil Law and Church. We used the same exact process here. Just for a quick background on us, in business, this is our 8th year of being in business as solid waste specialists. I was 40 years in the business with, ironically, your current vendor in waste management, but a long time. And so we've got the experience from the government side as far as understanding what you want to see and what you don't want to see. And then I understand the garbage business in such a way that we really specialize in eliminating ambiguity. So I think I could probably summarize this in this way, why we've been so successful. In an average tenure of a professional such as Ms. Turner, and especially even with elected officials, you may see a solid waste contract come up one time in your entire career of service, where the vendors are responding to these every 30 days. So if there's a trick, I hate to say pull the wool over the eye, but that's what it is. If there's a trick that can be played, they have a lot more experience at that than anyone on the city side or the elected official side has. So we act as the buffer to eliminate that nonsense. And so when we draft the document, a lot of these vendors, they don't like to see us coming, because we make sure that what you folks want is clearly delineated in that document. When we do the pre-bid, we make sure they understand what you want done, and then we get it done for you. So with that, I'll stop and see if you have any questions.
Okay, Mr. Vaughan?
I have a few questions, process questions, I guess. My fear would be is if we approve this, that you guys run off and then bring us back a recommendation, and maybe we don't get some of the things in there that we'd like to have. Like Ms. Eichelhart brought up about kind of a menu pricing. I would really like to see that. So I want to make sure that's, I think we're going to get an opportunity to look at the RFP before you send it out, from what I read.
Yes, the actual process will be, there'll be a meeting first with Ms. Turner's group. Then I'll go to work, I'll draft it. Then I won't do it by Teams call, because it's too hard for me to hear you. The next time I'll come in at the podium there, and we'll bring that RFP for your approval before it goes out. Sometimes the best intentions on the staff and for myself, we think we understand what you want. But when we bring it in, you may say, well, that's not exactly what I want. Then I'll go back, make the adjustments before it goes out. That way you're absolutely clear that we're synchronized with you.
Thank you. So I'll just say that I think it's a little weird to have a consultant help with the RFP, but if we were going to do it on a contract, this is the one to do it. I mean, this is a massive contract, so I'm generally in favor of hiring a professional to help us with it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Vaughan?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The core of an RFP is the statement of work. The statement, I'm sorry, my fault. The core of an RFP is the source statement of work. Would you agree with that? So basically, there has to be a statement of work by the functional unit in order to do an RFP. And indeed, that statement of work more or less defines what the RFP will be.
Yes, and the reason we would choose, there'll be a statement of work or a scope of work in the body of the RFP itself. And the reason we're using an RFP method as opposed to a bid is because the door is open doing it this way for perhaps a better idea. You leave the door open, you end up with the same thing that you end up with a bid as regards to scope of work clearly being delineated. But it does give some room for those in the field to say, well, I can do that a little bit better. And that's their chance to speak. So we'll even have an opportunity for someone to have an alternate way that they'll be able to price that. And all that comes in to y'all to finally make the last decision. But they have to pass muster within the interview before it gets to you. So it's not just a mathematical aspect like a bid would be. They have to pass, I'll just make it real, I don't want to keep too much of your time, but 65% of the 100 points is on the written evaluation. How they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, and most importantly, if the current incumbent is not the winner, how they're going to transition from where it is today to where it's going to be. And we want that done in such a way that y'all's telephone is not ringing. Ms. Turner's telephone is not ringing. The business leaders in the town do not have phones. We want to make this seamless. So they have to prove up that they know how to do this. And they have to prove up that they have experience with cities of your size that have both the houses and the commercial businesses that you have. They have to prove that up, 65 points out of 100. And then the price, which is holistically, and I say holistically, not to sound too, but it is the combination of the houses and the businesses and the industrial accounts as a composite whole for the pricing. We don't just focus on the price of the house, because if you do that, the vendors will quickly run amok and they'll just start to penalize your businesses to get the price of the houses down. That's not what you want. You want a balanced pricing mechanism. So that's what we specialize in, making sure that you end up with a good balance for everybody in Universal City, not just the homeowner. Does that answer your question?
65% in my class is a failing grade. So basically, with the statement of work, are you suggesting that you might be weighting the statement of work provided by staff in your own way, or I'm a little unclear about what this 65% actually means. So I
apologize very much. I'm having a real difficult time.
I can answer that. I've looked at it. So he's talking about a scoring sheet, Mr. Rubal. There's 100 points possible. He's saying the bulk of it, 65 points, is based on the items that he has indicated that is part of the statement of work and the delivery and all of that. And then after that, we get to pricing and all of that. So I believe that they're hitting the mark that you're looking for. And so I hope that suffices.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
Will council have the ability to contribute their thoughts from the residents to staff?
Yes.
No, you're not presenting it to staff, you're presenting it to each other. So let me address this. So there's two parts to setting up the RFP. The first one is who from the staff level has to deal with the residents and the commercial businesses. And so those staff members will come together and they'll say, this is what we hear all the time, this is what people ask us for, this is where our problem areas are, and all of that information will come to them. That will go to Lynn. He's going to use that to put the RFP together based on inside knowledge of what people are saying, how billing works, things of that nature. He'll put that together, and then he'll bring that RFP to you. Your job is to speak then for the residents.
It seems like the horse is out of the barn, type thing. It would be nice if staff would accept the comments of the council in their deliberation, putting things together first, and in that way, essentially, would streamline things.
Mr. Rubal, I'm going to guess that the staff gets a lot more phone calls regarding trash and comments and setting up service and making payments and helping people with their bills than all of the council members combined. They deal with it day in and day out. Let me tell you, those ladies in that utility department, they know a lot more about trash. I'm going to say that all of us in this room. They're the keys to getting with the residents what they're asking for, what they're looking for, what their problem points are. You may be talking to residents in your neighborhood, or you may be talking to people when you're walking. They get them from every street and every neighborhood, every socioeconomic background. They know whether they want things done online or they want it done in person. I think you need to give them the chance to speak to what they hear and give him the chance to put that information together, and then you can give your input.
After the first reading of the last contract, between the first and the second reading, there was still not a statement of work done by staff for the contract.
If we didn't do it your way, I'm sorry, but what we're saying is we're gonna follow his method. He's told you there is a scope of service or a statement. And so I guess for you, you'll have to decide, are you gonna go through that process with us and accept the process? Or are we gonna stop and just do it the way you want it done? That's what you're asking us at this point.
I think what is the way that council wants it done? I would like to see council.
Well, we're fixing to find out here with a vote, so.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We're fixing to find out here. So with that being said, let's call for a vote. Excuse me, call for a motion, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Move to apology.
Move to approve. Second.
Whatever.
Okay, discussion. You did that.
Snapping me.
Discussion.
I, for one, would rather the staff be the ones, because I've heard them talking, and I've been a resident who's called with issues. I haven't talked to anyone up here on the dais about the issues I have with trash. I called the staff, and I've seen them work, so I'm 100% behind this.
Again, remember, staff is only the initial input.
Well, I know,
The final decision is up to council.
I get that, but that's where the basis information is coming from.
Mr. Goolsby?
Oh, thanks, sir. So I have been a resident that's called, I've been a business owner that's called, and I've been a contractor that's called the city to talk about my issues with waste management, with our current service provider. And I believe that staff has taken, with my hope, my anticipation, and expectation is that staff will take my call just as seriously as they would take anybody's call about issues out there, and that, you know, to take all those things. But then my main thing is exactly kind of what Councilmember Vaughan has stated, is that I appreciate that we have a group like this that's interested. At first I thought, what's Kim doing out there? She's not taking, I mean, shouldn't she be doing this? Well, these guys do it all day, every day. And like you said, they know the ins and outs, they know where things are hidden and all of that. So I'm really excited about this. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As a citizen who has never had to call waste management, I guess I'm lucky. But I'm looking forward to the people who deal with this every day, putting their information together, getting it into a package, and putting that in front of us so that we get all the information brought to us, you know, from the experts or from the people who are on the front lines of this, of the experience that our citizens, contractors, and businesses are dealing with this particular vendor. And then it comes to us to review it, providing additional input that we may have as we guide, and then either approve or not approve. That's it. Thank you.
And Shelby?
Sorry, I'll go back. I do appreciate what Ms. Agora had to say about, I would like to hear from this whole process about the differential rate idea. I'm not educated in it. I assume he is, and in this process, I would love for that to be brought to the forefront as far as what's good, bad, and ugly about it. So just as part of his sales to us, I really want to know more about that side of it. Make sure that we run through all of those aspects. Thank you.
Thank you. I was just going to say, when I read this agenda item, I thought I really liked the value that this would add by having experts talk with the people that are impacted, I mean the city staff, and putting together this into a document that will help us to make sense. I felt like we would be able to make a really good decision with the information that we're going to get from this.
And I'm going to tie it up with Ms. Eichelhardt's comments about a menu pricing, Mr. Vaughn's confirmation with that. It's not a new idea. It's been brought up before, and this way we'll get the experts put it into perspective and the feasibility of it, so it brings it up. So I think we'll get a good wide sampling of all the different issues around the city. So with that being said, let's call for the vote.
Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal?
Nay.
Councilmember Vaughan?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Approved. Item
Thank you
E.
for your business.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item E, ordinance 149M3109, 2025, amending the fee schedule for update water rates, no rate change.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Give me 1 second.
Vaughan and Shelby.
Thank you. All right, Councilmember Vaughan?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby?
No, it's him.
Oh, Councilmember Goolsby?
I won them all.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Approved. Item F, ordinance 149M3209, 2025, amending the fee schedule for the update sewer rates, no rate change. Call for the motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Call for the vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Approved. Do I hear a drum roll? Ordinance number 581, PC 621, zoning change to 6/6/2025, rezoning 8096 Agora Parkway from C2 to C3, Commercial Services District. Call for a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Just to clarify, we are voting on tab H right now.
We are,
It's H.
Yes,
correct.
this is the
My apologies, I did not
zone
say
change
H.
for the public hearing that
This
you
is-
had, so.
This is that area. Now, this is the time for discussion. Mr. Goolsby?
Thanks, sir. So I remember when they were here last time, and it was, we had a lot of things to say, and my gosh, they heard us, and they did their all, and when they came this time, it was like, look, we have tried and tried and tried and tried. So I have no problem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also was here in 2019 when we had that discussion. I do have a question. I want to make sure I understood this correct. If we move to C3, retail is still a possibility? Yes. Okay, I want to be absolutely sure I wasn't seeing it in the cross-reference charts. I agree, they've also, unfortunately, longer. I think we probably went longer than I would like to have gone on this one for us to revisit this, but better late than never, and I do support this.
I was the third person that was actually on council at that time frame. I think I'm the one that led the charge, if I remember correctly. I have to agree that you have to do due diligence.
Absolutely.
Through that, and I know that COVID changed the entire retail market, but with that being said, I'll call for the vote.
Who was my first and second? I'm sorry.
First.
Second.
Thank you. Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Approved. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Second reading will be on September 16th, Mayor.
Yes, second reading is September the 16th, and that will be the final approval. Item I, bid award for the 2025 alley rehabilitation project. Mr. Lunsman.
Mayor, Council, what you have before you is a staff recommendation to approve the lowest responsive bid to VK Hilton Construction in the amount of $236,598.95 for the 2025 alley rehabilitation projects, which will be the alleys that we call A9, Valerio, along Kitty Hawk Road, and alley C5, which is 300 block of East English. We did have 7 bidders. The low bidder we disqualified as not meeting the requirements. You have to be self-performing at least 50% of the project, and he was only able to perform 21% of the work is what we calculated. He basically subbed out the work with other contractors, which we've specifically wrote in, you have to perform at least 50%. So we are recommending the second lowest bidder, which was BK Vaughan here tonight.
Call for motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got those? Discussion? Mr. Ball? Yes. Sorry. Sarah Ball, sorry.
Randy, you know where I'm going to ask. Essentially, is the C5 project going to be funded from the general fund, or is it going to be funded by the Economic Development Committee?
These are all general fund dollars.
I'm sorry, sir.
These are all general fund dollars.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Call for the vote?
Move to divide. Move to divide.
I don't know that either.
Move for definition.
It essentially divides the proposal up into two segments. The C5 and the A5 and the A9 segments. So essentially we would simply vote on the two parts of it individually.
And benefits of that?
Yes, sir.
What are the benefits of that?
The benefits to that are that the C5 project is within the aviation district. It was never a paved road, and it was never a paved alleyway except for a short segment. And I do believe it should have complementary funding from the Economic Development Committee for that project, and not come from the general fund, which means it does not come from ad valorem tax dollars. That's the reason, sir.
I don't see the benefit, but.
Mayor, Council, I would remind Council that this item was approved by y'all at the beginning of the year in this current budget.
Okay. So this.
Also, I understand Mr. Rubal's philosophical discussion regarding the EDC, and he thinks that they should pay for it. It's not in their budget. They've never discussed doing this particular alley. I don't think at this point that the city council can go back and tell the EDC they want them to pay for it, because what if they don't? Also, when it was sent out as an RFP, it was for both projects to be done, and that's what the contractor has bid on. And so your price is based on both of those being done.
Motion is moved to divide. If council does not second that, then it dies.
Call for a motion?
Mr. Rubal gave the motion, he's
No,
back.
there's no second.
Oh, I see.
You moved down, there's no second, so I just know call for a motion. For item I, bid award of 2025 alley rehabilitation project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal?
Nay.
Councilmember Vaughan?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. 7:44?
Mayor,
Yes.
we have to vote on item G. It's the sewer rates. Or sorry.
Move for home water rates, you're right.
Second.
1, 2.
Thank you.
Good catch, Maribel. Thank you.
Thank you, Maribel, I do appreciate that. I have you good. Ordinance 570D, 2025, amending fee schedules, update stormwater rates and no rate change. Call for motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you. Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal? Motion carried.
Approved.
Now we can adjourn.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 7:45, meeting adjourned.